Ladies and gentlemen, you chose faith over fighting, and God fought for you. Listen carefully. This is not just another speech. This is a reminder of who you are. A reminder of what you carry inside of you. A reminder that when the world tried to push you into the mud, when people tried to break you, when your circumstances screamed that you had no chance, you didn't swing wildly at everything. You didn't waste your soul on empty battles. You stood. You waited. You believed. And that belief was your greatest weapon. Faith looks weak to those who don't understand it. To them, silence is weakness. To them, patience is cowardice. To them, walking away means surrender. But they don't know what you know. They don't understand that when you step back, when you refuse to fight on their level, you invite God to step in. And when God steps in, no army, no enemy, no strategy against you can stand. Before I go deeper, let me pause for a second. If you're new here, welcome. You're here for a reason. I want you to subscribe right now, like this video, and drop a comment about what part of this message hits your soul. Join this movement. Because it's not just motivation, it's transformation. To those of you who've been here before, who've stayed loyal, who show up every time, thank you. You are the heartbeat of this channel, and this journey wouldn't exist without you. Now let's continue. You chose faith over fighting. You chose prayer over panic. You chose focus over fear. And because of that, the story shifted in your favor. History is filled with people who understood this. Look at Nelson Mandela. 27 years locked away, 27 years in a prison cell while the world outside was burning. People thought he was finished. People thought silence would bury him. But his faith, his patience, his belief in something greater than revenge, it changed everything. And when he walked free, it wasn't with bitterness. It wasn't with brokenness. It was with power. His faith built his nation. His restraint became his weapon. His patience became his crown. Think about Martin Luther King Jr. He could have chosen violence. He could have fought on the streets with fists and fire. But instead, he chose faith. He chose the higher path. He marched. He spoke. He prayed. He endured the hatred without giving it back. And because of that, his voice carried across generations. His enemies didn't know that his silence at the right time was louder than their rage. His restraint wasn't weakness. It was divine strength. Let me tell you something most people don't want to hear. Sometimes fighting with your hands, with your words, with your energy is the wrong battle. Sometimes walking away feels like you're losing, but that's the illusion. The real battle is spiritual. And the moment you stop feeding your enemies with reactions, the moment you stop handing them your energy, the moment you stop playing their game, God takes over the fight. And God doesn't lose. You've felt this before. You've walked away from something that tried to pull you in. You've been tempted to prove yourself, to clap back, to show your strength. But something inside whispered, "Don't hold your ground. Stay still." And then you watched how things unfolded. The very people who mocked you ended up exposing themselves. The very situations that looked like defeat turned into your elevation. The very loss that felt like the end became the beginning of something you never imagined. That's not coincidence. That's God fighting battles you never saw. Listen to me. Patience is warfare. Silence is a weapon. Faith is a strategy. But only the strong understand it. The weak scream, the weak rush, the weak fight in desperation. The strong stay calm. The strong trust the process. The strong know that time is on their side because God is not bound by deadlines. Think of David. Everyone knows the story. A young shepherd standing against a giant warrior. Everyone else saw a boy with no chance. But David wasn't fighting alone. His faith was his sword. His trust was his shield. One stone was all it took because God directed his hand. What does that tell you? It tells you that your size doesn't matter. Your status doesn't matter. Your position doesn't matter. What matters is who stands with you. And when you choose faith over fighting, God stands with you. Right now, I want you to think about the battles in your life. The ones draining your energy. The ones keeping you up at night. The ones making you want to scream. Fight, argue, prove yourself. You don't need to fight all of them. You don't need to answer every insult. You don't need to chase every rumor. You don't need to clap back at every attack. Sometimes the most dangerous move is stillness. Sometimes the most powerful strike is no strike. Sometimes the deadliest response is silence, because silence leaves them confused. Silence leaves them restless. Silence leaves them exposed. And while they're busy unraveling, God is arranging your victory. There's a reason people underestimate faith. It doesn't look like fire. It doesn't look like war. It doesn't look like dominance. But faith is the quiet fire. Faith is the war in the unseen. Faith is dominance in the long game. Let me break it down with something simple. Think of a seed. When you bury it in the soil, it looks dead. It looks small. It looks forgotten. People walking by don't see anything happening. But deep beneath the dirt, a battle is being fought. Roots are breaking through. Life is expanding. Strength is being built. And when the time is right, the seed doesn't just survive. It breaks through. It grows. It dominates its space. That's what happens when you choose faith. People think you're buried. They think you're done. They think you've lost. But really, you're being planted. And when God decides the season, you rise. I know some of you listening are in that buried stage. You feel hidden. You feel unseen. You feel like nothing is working. But I'm telling you, stay rooted. Stay faithful. Stay patient. Because God doesn't waste silence. He doesn't waste waiting. He doesn't waste faith. Your breakthrough will not come from fighting battles that don't matter. Your breakthrough will come from standing in faith while God fights the ones you can't see. This is not just theory. This is truth written into history. This is truth proven in lives across generations. This is truth that can't be denied. So I ask you again, what are you fighting right now that you should be releasing? What are you carrying that you should be putting in God's hands? What storms are you trying to control when the only way through is trust? When you let go of the need to fight everything, you gain the strength to win what really matters. When you let God fight for you, you win wars you never even knew existed. And those victories are greater than anything you could have forced on your own.